Hello everyone, my name is Jacob and today I'm going to be showing you how to use Moodle. So if you've ever been to a different college or university, you might have used what's called Blackboard. Blackboard is essentially an online way to see all of your courses and possibly turn things in, post on forums, see all of your course documents like syllabi and all your readings you have to do, stuff like that. So the first big thing to note is that while everyone calls it Moodle, the web address for it is actually courses.mvnu.edu, which can be confusing sometimes. And what's even weirder about it is once you get to that web page, it actually says MVNU Online. So whatever you want to call this, just make sure you know all the names for it in case your professor throws out MVNU Online or courses, stuff like that. That all refers back to Moodle. So let's get started. I'm going to be using Google Chrome today. Open up your web browser, and once it opens up, you're going to type in courses.mvnu.edu, and then you're going to hit enter. So now you need to log in with your normal student credentials. You can see here, so I have the first three letters of my first name and my entire last name. If something's not working for you here, definitely contact Motherboard and get some help for it. We would love to help you out. Okay, so go ahead and log in. Okay, so first things first, you see all this white space, but you also see this little black bar on the left side of the screen. You can open or close this bar by using the three lines on the top left-hand part of the corner, just FYI. And another thing to note before I really get into it is that wherever you are on the website, you can always click on the globe on the left-hand side of the screen and get back to this page right here. This is called the dashboard of Moodle. So the first block I want to look into is the My Courses block. This is going to be probably where you're going to spend 90% of your time on this website. So this is where you see all your actual courses. You can look at the courses you're taking now. That's the In Progress tab. You can look at the courses you're going to be taking very shortly. This is usually right before a semester starts when these pop up. This is the Upcoming tab. And then you have the Expired tab to look at any old courses. This is sometimes helpful when you're in like Chemistry 2 and you want to see something from Chemistry 1. You can click on the Expired tab to look at your old classes. All right, now let's dig into one of the class pages. So the first thing I want to note is that this is built by your professors. This is not built by the school to where they're all on one specific template where they make all of their stuff and things like that. So what you're going to see is a lot of different Moodle pages, which can be good and sometimes it can be kind of frustrating to work with, to be honest. So if we go to my honors project page right here, I'm going to click on that. You're going to see once this loads that it is completely blank. Just like that. So the reason this class has nothing on Moodle is because it's just a project-based class and we communicate over email, and most of my project is done with my advisor anyway, so there's nothing on Moodle. So if we click on the globe in the top left-hand corner, let's get back to the dashboard. All right, so as you can see, some classes aren't going to have anything on Moodle, which is really interesting, right? It just depends on what kind of classes you're taking, who it's with, and if it's like a one-on-one class or a 6-on-1 class and that kind of thing. On to the next class, let's look at electromagnetic fields and waves over here on the right side of this block. So this is a really intense class and it's set up in a very interesting way, especially if you compare it to the next class I'm going to show you, which is Christian beliefs. So this class is laid out by having all the main documents at the top right under this big general bar. So I'm going to scroll down just a little bit and you can see we have the syllabus, a table of derivatives and integrals, and just a few other documents that we can look at that we might want to print out or just see what it is. So the main content of this Moodle page, though, is down below. So we have a timeline that this professor set up, and it just has everything that is in this class. So it has all of the PowerPoints for that day, it has all of the homework assignments assigned that day, and it also has just tons of different information like equation sheets and stuff like that. So this is how this professor chose to lay it out, which is very intuitive for this kind of class. This is an engineering class and we work week by week on very different things. Okay, so a few other things I want to point out. I'm going to scroll up to the top of the page real quick. So if we click on the left-hand side of the screen on the triple bars to open up this left panel, we can see a lot of different little tabs we can click on. So we can see participants. If we click on that, we can see all the people that are in this class with me, which there are only 5 people with me in this class, which is crazy small. But if you go down below that and click on grades, you'll see that there is not a single grade submitted for this class. So this is something huge that I want to point out about Moodle, is that the grade system on here is also determined by your professors. These grades on Moodle are definitely not your best source of looking at your grade. The only reason I would look at a grade on Moodle is to see if I'm on track to have a good grade toward the end of the semester. So one thing I really want to emphasize here is that your grades on Moodle are submitted by your professor or not. It is up to them on what they put on here. So you may have every single grade put perfectly on Moodle, and it will reflect your exact final grades for that class. But depending on if your professor chooses not to put grades on Moodle, this might not reflect your end grade whatsoever at all. I even had a class last year that the professor only put on half of the grades. They only put on the writings and quizzes, but didn't submit grades for like exams and participation, things like that. Now, if you want to know how to look at your official grades by MVNU, you got to go to portal.mvnu.edu. I'm going to leave a link for a video up here that you can look at it for, and Portal will show your official grades. Okay, let's move on. So if you see below the grade tab on the left-hand side of the screen, there's a thing that says general, and then it goes week 1, week 2, week 3. This is just the timeline that my professor set up that I showed you a minute ago. So I'm going to click on general. That's going to take me just to the front of the page I was just on a minute ago. And then below that, you see week 1, week 2. This is just a quick way to get to a certain week of the semester for me in this specific class. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the home page, the dashboard, by clicking on the globe again. Okay, so I'm going to look a little in depth at one more class. I'm going to click on the second dot right here, and that's going to take me to the second part of this little block. Okay, so I'm going to click on Christian Beliefs and Convictions. Right away, you can see this class is laid out completely different than my last professor had it on electromagnetic waves and fields. So you can see there's a bunch of different like cards you can click on, and each one has a very different thing in it. So the first one has course documents, like the syllabus, announcement things, and rubrics, stuff like that. If you remember my electromagnetics class, those documents were just sitting at the top of the screen. So you can also see if you click on activities through fall break, that there's going to be lots of things here. This is set up similarly to the big timeline that my other class had, but also as you can see, it is very much different. Okay, I'm gonna click back on the globe to get us back to the home page. Okay, honestly, there's only a few more things that I use on a daily basis with Moodle that I'm going to show you. The rest I'm going to leave for you to explore, and if you have any questions, definitely contact Motherboard. Okay, so one more thing is this top tab up here. There's the triple dots and this square, which actually I've clicked on it, and I can't tell what it does. Maybe it does something with you in the future. Maybe they updated something. Next to that, you have a drop-down tab that says Recent. So that's just the recent things you might have clicked on, different pages you were on recently. Next to that is the Resources tab, and that's going to have just a bunch of different things like how to check for plagiarism in your papers, the Purdue Online Writing Lab, very, very useful, and the Moodle Basics for Students. If you're still not satisfied after this video about using Moodle, definitely click on Moodle Basics for Students. Once you click on that, there will be like a Join This Class page it'll bring you to, and it's very self-explanatory from there. Once again, if you need any help, feel free to contact Motherboard. We would love to help. Okay, so let's go down a little bit on this page. I'm going to close the left side tab. All right, let's scroll down a little bit. You can see there is a timeline. And one thing, it does say these are recently overdue, but these are actually for a different section of the Christian Beliefs class I'm in right now. So I'm not sure why those are showing, but anyway, I'm going to keep scrolling down the page. At the very bottom, you can see I have feedback on something I turned in recently, also for Christian Beliefs. And then if on this other tab here, you can go to your recently active forums for different classes. Sometimes it won't send you notifications for a forum in a class unless you've already submitted some sort of discussion for that. So here is a way that you can look at that very quickly. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the top of the page. Okay, a few last things to know are gonna be in this top right-hand corner. So you have this messages icon here you can click on, and your professors can send you messages. You can also message your friends or students through this messaging area, and it'll be just on Moodle. But Moodle will send you messages to your email if you get messages on here, depending on your preferences that you set later. Next thing is the notification icon here. And on here you can see different things that you have upcoming. Okay, so the last thing I want to go through is your profile. So if you click on your name in the top right hand corner, you can click on the dashboard, just like the globe in the top left hand corner, same thing there. You can look at your profile, you can look at your grades, you can also look at your messages, just like the other icon over here, and then you can go to your preferences, which gets pretty in depth to a lot of different things. So I'm going to look at our profile. Okay, so if you go to your profile, you'll see you have a profile photo here, you have contacts, discussions, and then you have all your classes you've taken. And then if you go to edit profile right here, you can set your city or town you're from, country, and description here. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the main dashboard by clicking on the globe on the left-hand side of the screen again. Okay, we're back on the dashboard now, and the very last thing I wanna show you is the calendar. So if you go to the left-hand side of the screen, you can click on that right there. So this calendar is just going to show the things that your professors have posted as things to turn in or things to physically do. If it's like just on a syllabus or if it's just something to click on, it's not going to show up in your calendar. So once again, don't treat this as your only source of how to look at your different assignments and that kind of thing. So you can see the only things I have on here are for Christian beliefs, yet I'm taking 7 classes right now. So this calendar can be helpful for certain classes, but not all classes. All right, so that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or concerns or you have some issues, feel free, please, to contact Motherboard with the information right after I stop talking. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day today, and I'll see you next time.